Spirit of life, source of love that binds us across all difference, source of justice that calls us to act. We gather this morning with hearts heavy with grief, shaken by violence, searching for peace. We lift up the life and memory of Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband, Mark. Representative Hortman was a devoted public servant, a fierce advocate, a leader who labored with integrity, grace, and courage. May her memory be a blessing. May she become part of the breath of the ancestors who inspire our hope and convictions to carry on. And may those who mourn her family, friends, colleagues, and the people she served find comfort in her legacy of care. We hold in deep concern Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette. We pray for their healing and their strength. May love surround them in this time of crisis. May the hands that tend to them be skillful, and may the hearts that support them be steady. We acknowledge the shock and sorrow that descend when violence invades the spaces of public service, when tragedy strikes those who have answered the call to serve. We name the fear, the fragility, the aching uncertainty that visits all of us in moments like these. And still we return to the circle. Still we kindle the flame. Still we choose to believe in a love that endures, in justice that calls us forward, in a community that can hold both our heartbreak and our hope. Let us not turn away. Let us not grow numb. Let us rise together, committed to building a world where every life is sacred, where public service is honored, and where peace is more than a dream. Blessed be, and amen.
For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings, and we are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage, fathers of time, daughters of dust, and the sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy, brothers of love, lovers of life, and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth, keepers of faith, makers of peace, and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings, and we are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage, fathers of time.
We are Minnesotans, united by our love of these lands, which are also the spiritual and contemporary homes for the Dakota and Anishinaabe peoples. We are protesters, chanters, singers, letter writers, discussion havers, and callers to our representatives who continue to keep calling for a world, for a country that is more loving and just for everyone. We are a people that celebrates diversity, that strive for equity, and that does the ongoing work necessary to make spaces we inhabit more inclusive for everybody and every body. We are the ones who come together in times of tragedy and loss to grieve together. And we are the ones who come together to celebrate with one another our milestones, achievements, and everyday joy with deep gratitude. We are old friends and new, offering our hands and hearts to one another on this journey that we all share. We are here together today, and what a blessing that is. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Minnesota Valley UU Fellowship. My name's Laura. I'm the minister here. Chad, our ministerial intern, is delivering his swan song for us today. Kathleen's back on tech. It's so good to see you all this morning. We continue our service with our chalice lighting this morning. Chad, you want to light our chalice for us? Will you all please join me in the words? Love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual love, discipline of love.
Love is the root of all joy and sorrow, wrote Meister Eckhart. Knowing that, we take time each week together to share the joys and the sorrows, the moments from each of our lives. If you have a joy or a sorrow you would like to share here in this beloved community, if you are here in the sanctuary, an usher will bring you a microphone. Please state your name and briefly share your joy or sorrow, knowing that our time together is limited. If you are online, was that too subtle? If you are online on Zoom, you can put your joy or sorrow in the chat and we will share it here. If you are on YouTube, you can share it with other people on YouTube in the comments. Are there joys or sorrows here this morning?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lee, and I just want to say that there was a good representation of people from MVUF at the Bloomington rally yesterday, and we appreciate all of you being there, and other rallies as well, I'm sure. So thank you all. It was a successful and a joyful thing. So.
Am I up? Yep. I'm Mimi, and I just want to thank all of you for thinking of me when I had my surgery. Or if you didn't know, it was the day you couldn't you had to do your memories and joys in your head quietly last time I was here. So I had surgery a week ago Wednesday, and I'm on pacemaker number 4, and I woke up. So I'm really happy.
Good morning, I'm Barb. First of all, I visited with our former member Gail Russell on the phone last night, and a week ago she moved to Peoria, Illinois. But she asked me to share with you her gratitude for how welcoming she experienced us to be for the short time she was a member here, and especially a thank you to all of us who helped her get out of her house before the closing, and to Yamini and Seth, who aren't here, but who transported her to Peoria and back. And then I loved our opening words and our chalice lighting, and it's my hope that as a congregation we more fully live up to these ideals.
Hi, I'm Marcy, and I have, I guess I'd say, joys and sorrows. One is I ended up needing to miss the service last week, and I just hate to miss, and it's because I've gotten addicted to audiobooks, and I have to keep going and keep going, so it was 5:53 that morning before I got to the point I could cut off. So yeah, joy and sorrow, because those books are just wonderful for me. And then I was penalized the other night, I guess, for that, because I couldn't find my audiobook anywhere. So I'll try to be better. And then my other thing was, the joy is this morning that video is just so heartfelt to me. I don't know if you guys felt it the same way. And I'm gonna see if somebody, if I can get a link to that. I just loved it. It was so meaningful.
We can get you a link.
Great.
Sarah Collins. So I was at the Capitol yesterday, and we had 80,000 people. I don't know if it's like just St. Paul alone or the entire state of Minnesota. So that is a joy we can share, despite how everything, let's be honest, it was really somber up there. They changed the program out of respect for Melissa Hartman and John Hoffman, and people really were showing up mainly to pay their respects to them. There was a lot of signs honoring them, and the program was more about let's honor the people who served more so than protesting Trump. So there is some joy to be said of the sorrow, but it's kind of hard to say these things without crying. But you know what? They tried, Melissa was murdered trying in an attempt to get us to be silent, and Minnesota showed up for her. We weren't going to be silent.
Well, in the midst of all of this horror, I have a personal joy. 81 years ago today, my husband was born.
No.
Happy birthday, Doug. I was negligent in talking about honoring people who served. We had our final board meeting of the church year last week, and there's myself and Holly Bruce are the two people that are going off the board. And I just wanted to thank Holly publicly for all your support and all of your work this past 4 years that she served on the board. Thank you, Holly. She's amazing, amazing, amazing person.
Thank you.
Hi, Alexander Barrett. For those who don't know, I had a mental health crisis in mid-May, and I've been recovering. Thanks to intensive therapy programs that are amazing. I want to thank everybody who has reached out, everybody who's showed their support. I appreciate it so much, and this community is a big part of my healing. But yeah, it's been a very rough month, but things are coming out a lot better on the other side of this. So thank you, everybody.
Do we have anyone online? Oh, Nikki.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say anything because I don't know that I can get through it, but yesterday was a hard day. I just wanted to say, and I don't mean this to always be about the work that I do, but our ambulance crews responded to and transported John Hoffman. And my chaplain colleagues at the hospital were with that family all day yesterday, and I'm so proud of the work that our people do. Even amidst the heartache of the Wortmans. So to just send extra love to your first responders, our public servants, our legislators, but also the people who care for them in crisis center with them and are still with them today, holding them all in special care.
Hi. I should know how to use this. I would just like to acknowledge the energy, inspiration, and joy that Chad Snyder has brought to us this past year, and managed to be everything from a major figure in our Christmas play to bringing a great message of humanism to the pulpit, and all in all, just being a very positive force for us. And I'd be negligent not to mention Amy, who has chimed in on some services and done some great drumming and storytelling for us. Thank you.
Let's not make me start crying before I deliver my swan song. I also want to hold up that today is Father's Day, with all that that holds. The joy of being a father, of having a father, for those who have had a good father in their lives or who have had that role. And the sense of frustration for those who maybe didn't have that person or weren't able to be that person. And the power and the joy for those who have been a father figure without being a father. We are all human together. We are all responsible for each other. So yes, it's Father's Day, and that is important. And if you have a father, if you are a father, please hold that up. But remember too, that it's just one day. And every day we are here for each other. And now breathe. And hold all these joys and sorrows that have been shared for a tragic attack and for the voices that were raised in response, for people cheering on street corners with goofy signs, for the great joy of audiobooks. I will not deny that. For the magic of waking up with pacemaker number 4. For being together in joy, in sorrow, and in all those things that we live in between. Let us hold all of that. Let us sing our words to each other. The words for our centering space this morning come from the Reverend Julian Yameka Soto. To be free You must embrace the breadth of your own existence without apology, even if they try to take it from you. You must know, not that you can do whatever you want. You are not a kudzu vine, eating entire hillsides for the purpose of feeding your own lush life. You must know instead that inside you are entire universes, milky blue, magenta, and gold, expanding. But to actually be free, you must know and you must fight for the entire universes inside everyone else. Being free is not a license, but a promise.
Gay Pride is here in Bloomington next Sunday. Yeah, we're talking about freedom and liberation today, and though Pride has become a big celebratory event, I remind you all that it started as a riot, but it was part of what then was called the Gay Liberation Movement, and that was the seed that got us to where we are today. And we still come together, not only to celebrate the beauty of who we all are, which of course we do, and to have a lot of fun, but to know that we continue to fight for the multiplexes of universes within us all and within others. So we're an official sponsor of Pride this year, which is really fantastic and also expensive. So in a minute when we do our offering, there'll be a QR code up there. When you go to our donate page, you can donate to the Sunday sharing, which is split between us and will be shared with our Pride sponsorship. Or there's one area that you can click if you just want to give a donation for our sponsorship. We appreciate those things. There may be still a couple of spots left at our booth. We'll have a presence there. So sign up if you want to be in our booth this year. And if you're just going to Pride, please stop by and say hello to us. Right before I was coming in here, I got an email from No Kings, which was the movement that was organizing the events across the country yesterday. And guess what? In case you're wondering what's next, they're actually having a national call tomorrow night. It's at 7 o'clock. I posted that on, yeah. I thought it was 8 o'clock Eastern. Well, here's the deal, though. I posted it on the church Facebook page, and I posted it on my Facebook page. So find that, and then you'll figure out. Then you can sign up for it, and you can click that you want updates from them about future gatherings and rallies that'll be happening. I want to remind you all that the president has only been in office for not even 6 months, so there'll be other events, is what I'm saying. And we want to keep busy and stay vigilant and keep raising our voices. So please look on Facebook for that. And if you go on Facebook, if you go on our Facebook page, or if you're friends with me on Facebook, please share that widely to get the word out so other people, now that we've organized this big time once, then we can all stay connected and show up, maybe even bigger and bigger and bigger the next time and the next time. Today, as we mentioned, is Chad's final service that he's leading. He's still here through the end of the month, but today we're having the formal thank you and recognition of his time with us. There is a card straight back on the table out there under Candace's artwork. If you haven't had a chance to write some thank yous and well wishes for Chad, I invite you to do that today after the service. And we have cake and stuff downstairs, so please join us for that as well. Which reminds me, so we have cake downstairs. and some other things, coffee and whatnot. We have new renters, in case you haven't noticed the jazzercise signs. Yeah, it's still a thing. So jazzercise is here like 4 mornings a week and 4 evenings a week, and on Saturday too, I think. And when they use our space downstairs, they really don't want tables and chairs there. So I'm asking if you all, at the end of our time together today, if you're still here at the very end, if you can just fold up the tables and put them off to the side of the room and stack the chairs over there. If somebody would run a vacuum, that would be great. And oh, also, can you do that every Sunday? This summer, it's a trial thing this summer with them to see if the space works for them. If they sign on for a full year contract after that, then we'll look at maybe changing our custodial hours and getting somebody else in. But it's summer, so that means lay-led stuff. So I'm just asking you all to help chip in with that as the summer goes. And thank you for doing that. Oh, and there's plenty of information out there. If you're like, oh, jazzercise, that sounds like something I want to get engaged in. By all means, check it out. Those are the announcements that I have for today. I mentioned yeah, Barb.
Also, if you haven't signed, written a little note to Reverend Laura.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, yeah, I'm leaving too. My last Sunday in the pulpit is the 29th, and there are some stations up here. There might be one downstairs in the fellowship hall as well, where you can leave a note for me, and they're compiling them somehow. So thank you for that reminder. Oh, and I guess there's a collection. And I think there are envelopes in the brown folders, maybe, but there's also a link. If you go to the QR code, there's a link for donate for Laura's going away gift. Yes?
Thank you, Laura. I stand corrected.
It's 7 p.m. 7 p.m. tomorrow night. I'm sure it's a big national Zoom call, but go ahead and, so if you go to the link, then you can sign up for it, and they'll send you the Zoom link for it tomorrow, so, or YouTube link. I'm not sure how they're doing it, but, and that's for the No Kings movement. Anybody else have anything for the greater good? No? All right. Again, our sponsor all summer long is Bloomington Pride. Will the ushers please come forward to take the offering?
When in years to come I am asked what I learned in my internship, the list is going to be long. I will ask people to settle in. For each child that's born, we hold these truths to be self-evident. That all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. A morning star rises. The people of Texas are informed, in accordance with a proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves an absolute equality of personal rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves. And sings to the universe who we are. I love that hymn. I heard the reaction in the room when it was played. I love the version from GA. It is powerful. It is beautiful. It is haunting. And maybe part of what's haunting about it is that maybe it isn't true. Maybe at least we don't live to make it true. Black and brown babies in the United States are twice as likely to die as white babies. Still. Black families have less than a sixth of the wealth of the median white family. When they do grow up, 12-year-old Tamir Rice shot dead by a white police officer. Philando Castile shot dead in front of his little girl. George Floyd calling for his mother with his last breath. Just this week, poet and activist Isabel Lopez grabbed off the streets of St. Paul because she protested a military vehicle posted up outside a Mexican restaurant in Minneapolis. This is not the story of all men, of all people being created equal. It is not the story of absolute equality proclaimed in Texas on June 19th, 1865, Juneteenth. It is not the story of the promise of freedom that we tell as our national story. Now, the story we tell is that our founding fathers, flawed, yes, but our founding fathers made a promise to each other and to the nation that they were founding, a promise of freedom and justice for all. And yes, the promise was made in the midst of slavery, we get that. And it was made by men who enslaved, owned other men and women. But the story we tell ourselves is that the promise was real, even if our commitment to it has never quite been complete. We're getting better, we say. And yeah, we are. And that, we want to believe, is the story of the promise of freedom. But all men are created equal cannot be reconciled with the bodies of black and brown men and women swept up in Home Depot parking lots or grabbed off the street, torn from their families, shipped off like cattle to foreign prisons with no chance to defend themselves. And yes, I know I keep saying all men. It's not an accident. I'm pretty sure the writers meant men when they wrote it, even if they didn't mean all men. And still, the story we tell ourselves is that what we really mean now is all people. But a promise of freedom to all people cannot coexist with laws that make some people illegal for their blackness, their brownness, their queerness, their transness. The story we tell ourselves isn't true. There's a depressing thing for me to leave you with on my last sermon. But what? What if we change our story? What if we admit to ourselves that promise was a lie from the start? And so we make ourselves tell a new story. What if we realize that maybe that hymn that I love so much is true? That a morning star does rise and sing to the universe for each child who's born. But right now, until we change our story, till we make a promise that we mean, so many of those songs are a lament for who we are. I was at a public hearing this week, the St. Paul Commission on Reparations. During the hearing, a black woman stood up and asked the commissioners who were there, can freedom for descendants of chattel slavery come from? Can it be built into a system of government and a culture that was originally built to deny them that freedom, to deny their humanity? That's some hard questions. And I think a lot of what is happening in our country right now, fights against DEI, pulling books off of shelves, is probably driven by a very human desire to be free from those types of questions. But that's not freedom. We cannot be free from those questions, not if we are truly going to be free. We can try to ignore the questions as a nation, as a culture, even as Unitarian Universalists. We've done that. But true freedom is freedom with discomfort at what those answers might mean. To be free with our attention and with our humility, to listen and sit with the people whose freedom has, throughout the history of this nation, been denied, stolen, restricted, redlined, and imprisoned. All our freedom depends on us being willing, able, committed to being with those who have been granted less freedom, less safety, less, and let's just be blunt about it, less value. Collective liberation says that no one is truly free until and unless everyone is free. If my freedom depends on somebody else being held back and held down, I am not free. I am bound up in their oppression. But let's not fool ourselves. I believe in this idea of collective liberation. But the truth is that most of us here, can pretty easily, comfortably ignore the idea of collective liberation. I mean, yes, my soul is chained by systems of oppression, just like everyone else's. Except, not really just like everyone else's. My chains are looser, lighter, there's a lot more slack. I don't even have to notice them if I don't want to. I can go through life not paying those chains any mind and be perfectly happy. But to be free, writes Reverend Soto, to be free, you must embrace the breadth of your own existence without apology, even if they try to take it from you. The breadth of our own existence includes all the messy, complicated, and even, yes, the problematic bits. I am a white, straight man. My existence, whether I like it or not, is tied to the terrible, inhumane, evil, sinful things other white men have done over the last hundreds of years to hold on to power. It is not freedom to hide that piece of our history away. If it is hidden away or denied, to shield me from feeling guilty or ashamed, to shield me from feeling bad, then I am not more free. I am not liberated. I am ignorant. Now, I might be blissful in that ignorance, but bliss is not the goal. Our goal, our theological center as Unitarian Universalists is love. And I don't mean vapid, shallow, Hallmark card, everything is okay if we just hug love. Some of us aren't big huggers. But what I mean is a spiritually disciplined love, a love with a backbone, with bite, with steel. A love that shines on and through the values of equity and justice, transformation and pluralism, generosity and interdependence. A love that holds us accountable to living those values. A love that emboldens us when we can to stand up, maybe wave silly signs, and hold others accountable. To confront acts of evil and acts of indifference. A love that names sin. Not for the sake of our own righteousness, but for the sake of trying to end the harm and the hate, of opening a path for grace and for redemption. A love that offers no guarantees, except maybe, just maybe, joy in the struggle. A love that holds us when we find the freedom to see and admit that we have failed to live up to and into the promise. When we have been that kudzu vine, feeding our own lush lives. Because when we understand that human imperfection is part of the universe of our own being, our own existence, we can start to see the full humanness of all those imperfect universes, milky blue, magenta, and gold. All those imperfect universes in everyone else. This is a love that embraces freedom, not as a license to do whatever we want, not as a comforting story, not as freedom from challenge and discomfort and change, but a freedom to and a freedom with. Freedom to see our chains and to look up from them and see the chains, sometimes heavier and tighter on everyone else. Freedom with each other. Freedom with people who have been trying for years, decades, centuries to show us those chains. To break those chains. Maybe achingly slowly, only one link at a time. But to melt them down, reforge them into links, not that hold us down, that hold us back, but that hold us together. I like that line. I was pretty happy when I wrote it. It's a good line, but is it possible? I don't know. The truth is, I struggle with hope some days. In the face of ICE raids and Marines on the streets of our cities, political assassination in our suburbs, policies that strip away health care and housing for the poorest to make the rich richer, hope can feel, I don't know, naive. I am sometimes so angry and afraid, not for myself, but for this place we all live and share. I want to lash out in anger and in that fear, in honestly a hate that is just nestled in my gut sometimes. At the people in charge and at the people who support them, who voted for them, who put them in charge. And yet, I hear Reverend Soto's poem. They too are people holding universes inside them. To be free, I must fight for the entire universes in everyone. God's save me, even them. I hear the words of the Buddha and Martin Luther King Jr. trying to remind me that hate cannot defeat hate. Only love, only compassion can do that. Beloveds, we in this nation, we are in a historic moment. And not in the good way. In moments like this, we are faced with hard questions. What is it to be human in this world? To be human with other humans who commit, who allow, and even revel in such sinful acts against fellow humans. Now, of course, these questions aren't new. They have always been with us, even when some of us might not have needed to hear them, and so didn't hear them. Even then, our neighbors are black and brown, queer and trans, disabled and poor. Our neighbors couldn't stop asking those questions and waiting for an answer. Unable to turn away from those questions now, I don't have answers. But to be fair, ours isn't really a faith of answers. But it is a faith. It is a faith, and a faith calls us to respond to the needs, to the broken places of the world, even when we don't have answers. No, especially when we do not have answers. I believe our love-centered faith calls us to respond to this moment by doing our damnedest to make a new promise of freedom. A living promise truly meant for everyone. Not a simple freedom from, not mere freedom for, but freedom with. Be free with hope, knowing that hope takes work and risk and that it will be dashed. Be free with love for the people who are pushed to the margins. And then be free too with love for the enemy, knowing that that love may not be returned and probably will be mocked. Be free with hard questions. Be free with anger at injustice. Be free with your fears. Be free with your tears. And still be free with hope. Be free with fierce, unrelenting love. Be free with the music of the universe is inside you, inside every person. May that music rise. A morning star singing to the universe, to all the universes. For each child born to us, a song of joy and possibility and freedom. A symphony of freedom's true promise. Maybe even a cacophony. May we write that music together. May we sing to the universe who we are. Not in lament, but in hope and fierce, fierce love. Is it possible? I still don't know. Let's do our best to make it happen anyway. So may it be, because we make it so. Amen. And now, let's sing together. I volunteered to do this a cappella and lead you. That seemed like a great idea an hour ago. But we're going to give it a shot. There's good singers in the room. Our closing hymn is 1031, Loving Kindness. I picked it because it can be hard to acknowledge our roles in this world, in this system of oppression. Let us be loving and kind to ourselves and to all so that we can change these systems. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled, jump ahead, with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May
I want to invite Linda and Nikki up here. Again, Chad, though, you'll be working with us through the end of the month. Today, we're recognizing formally the end of your time as intern with us as a fulfillment of part of the requirements to becoming a fellowshipped minister. I just want to say, when you go to an internship, what you're doing is trying to find your voice as a minister, trying to step into that role of minister. I know that you came to us as a very seasoned lay leader with lots of experiences on boards and worship and all sorts of other areas of church life. But from your first sermon to this very last one, it's clear to me that you have the voice of a minister and that you definitely can stand in that role. So, so Chad, you came to MVUF last fall to serve as our intern minister and complete one of the last steps of your journey of becoming a fellowshipped Unitarian Universalist minister. And although you have a couple of more weeks with us, today I formally release you as my intern. I guess he's yours too. Go in faith, encourage, and with confidence, trust in yourself, trust in the congregations you will serve, and trust in the Spirit. You have been a blessing to me, and with love and gratitude, I let you go.
As members of the intern committee, we advised you and supported you this year. We enjoyed watching you learn and grow. Today, we formally release you as our intern. You have done very well here, and it is time for you to go on to serve our faith in other ways. You have been a blessing to us. With love and pride, we let you go.
Will the members of this congregation please rise and join me in our release of Chad as our intern. As members of this fellowship, we thank you for ministering to us this last year. With both gratitude and joy, today we formally release you as our intern. We know that you will serve our faith well. You have been a blessing to us. With love and pride, we let you go.
Not me yet.
Oh, wait, yeah, you do have a little spot. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, but what if I don't want to be let go?
We tried that, but that didn't work.
We did try. I am so grateful for all I have learned this year, for the encouragement, for the trust you have all put in me. I pledge to serve this faith in a way that honors your confidence in me. This congregation will always have a special place in my heart. You have been a blessing to me. With love and gratitude, I bid you farewell in 2 weeks.
I know that Chad yearns to serve a congregation similar in size to ours and be solo minister of that community. And I can tell you, you're going to need a lot of sermon fodder. The solo ministers preaching 30 to 35 times a year. It's a lot to come up with, new ideas, new stories, new metaphors. And you're not only ministering to your congregation, but to the whole world. So I saw this book in Iowa when I was at a colleague's installation, and it's An Immense World is the book, and it is filled with all kinds of references of nature doing amazing things that I hope will serve your worshipfulness very well in the coming years and inspire you to always find beauty wherever you go.
I'm going to speak as both board chair, but also as a friend. As some of you know, Chad and I knew each other before he came here from a few theater adventures. Because of that, Chad, when I heard you were coming, I knew you would be wonderful, and you were. It has been such an honor to work with you. Your intelligence, your thoughtfulness, your compassion, your deep understanding and knowledge in so many areas was such a gift to MVUUF. Thank you, thank you, thank you for giving us these gifts. And thank you for your musical gifts and for playing the lead in the play. You'll remember that, the big sleigh, wasn't he great? But seriously, you always just seem to know when and how much to say at every board meeting. Your sermons were educational and inspirational. Your organizational skills were so helpful in working with the Sarge Committee and others. Your gentle presence and your humor was a warm relief. It was always welcome, and we had some difficult times this year. We were so fortunate to have you here, and we will miss you. So I have a gift from the board, one of our wonderful chalices made by our own Becky McPeak. This is in appreciation and remembrance of your time here, and wherever you go, we know you will be a great success, and we especially hope we get to see you here again in the not-too-distant future.
I get the honor of bestowing upon Chad our final gift today as chair of the intern committee. And before doing that, I would like to take a moment to recognize the other members of the internship committee with whom I had the pleasure to support Chad this past year. So I know a couple of you are here, so if Doug and Maureen would mind standing up and actually coming to join me up here on the altar, that would be lovely. And I know even Betty couldn't be here, but send their well wishes. And I want to thank you each for your dedication, wisdom, and compassionate accompaniment this year. As they approach, Chad, for your final gift on behalf of the committee and the entire congregation, it is my honor to present to you what we imagine to be your very first stole. As you step towards wherever and however you are called next, may you wear it with pride and fond remembrance of our support of and faith in you. As we move into our final blessing of Chad, please know that these words come from Meta Herrick Carlson's blessing for graduation, which in a way this is. Chad, we hope that you take them as invitations and offerings from us to you. Before we begin, I invite the members of the committee here, Laura, Linda, if you'd like to come, you're welcome. Amy. And if anybody else really feels called to lay hands on Chad, feel free to do so. Otherwise, from wherever you are, maybe offer your hands up. And blessing. You You may stand wherever you are and just offer your hands in blessing too, or sit, whatever feels best to you. We wanted to make you really uncomfortable before you left.
If everybody tries to touch me, it gets a little weird.
I'll get used to it, brother.
Please receive these words. Chad, so you know, oh. So you know some things. You've also noticed how much there still is to discover. You are both humbled and emboldened by this gain and ground. What's next? Do not be fooled by the trite questions, the expectations about pressing forward. There is no right answer to how you keep becoming. There is no degree or title that can fulfill all of who you are. Delight in the wisdom and those who shared it. Invest in the service and those who need it. Be thankful for the support and those who gave it. You are being sent to speak what is true, to do what is kind, to give what is necessary, so that your knowledge and mystery are alive in the world for all to share. So be it, and amen.
Amen.
Huh. Thank you for being this community, for being here when I needed a place to be an intern, to take this step, for being here for all of the people who have come through your doors looking for a home, to explore those questions of what it is to be human together in this interdependent web of existence. Thank you, and bless you. And now, before I cry, let us extinguish the chalice with the words we say each week.